I am what you would call a degenerate weeb. Big fight scenes with high stakes? No. Anime titties? Yes. One thing I have noticed while watching anime throughout the years is the lack of nipples on male anime characters. They are always on female characters except when they need to be censored, but almost never on the male characters. If you were to actively hunt down male anime characters with nipples, then the place you would probably find them the most are in hentais. Not that I actively look for male hentai characters with nipples or anything. Not at all. The only animes I could think where we can see the male character with nipples is The Color of Lovers and Yuri on Ice.
We'll make it happen. We'll turn it around. Yes, we were part of a victory.
Okay, so here are some answers I have found as to why male anime characters don't have nipples. For you won't get horny. I have no nipples as well. I don't see your problem. Twerking Sasuke gif, glurp, slurp. Cause nipples are kind of weird looking. Just watch a bunch of hentai and you will be flooded with them. 2 downvotes. Okay, so after looking at a variety of answers online, from forum posts, the only actual serious answers is either aesthetics or art style, or the censorship laws in Japan. Art is art. What I mean by this is that there are an infinite number of art styles out there. Some focus on realism, some more focus on more of a cartoony art style, and some are questionable. The anime art style is iconic. Once we see it, we know where it's from, or we think we know. I'm talking about shows like Avatar. Is it anime? Is it not? Who knows? Moving forward, the anime art style has been around for I don't know how long. I didn't research that far in. But just like music or other things, there are trends or things that are consistent. For anime, we could say it's the singular line for a nose, or the large eyes, or even the head shape. Those things are what we are able to identify as what is an anime, or an anime art style. So the lack of nipples on male anime characters could be a trend. So if my art style consisted of large round characters and one day I decide to make a more angular character and said that they were part of the same universe, it would seem a bit strange. Obviously, this isn't the best example, but you can understand what I mean by that. The lack of nipples is something we know anime characters don't have. While not being completely strange, when we do see them, it is odd nonetheless. There's also the matter of adapting a manga into an anime. If the original art style doesn't have nipples, then the anime won't have nipples. It's like if we were to adapt JoJo, but instead of that iconic buff boy art style, we instead use the K-On art style. So, the Japanese censorship law. Taking a quick look at the wiki page, it states, while Article 21 of the Japanese Constitution guarantees freedom of expression and prohibits formal censorship, effective censorship of pornographic content does exist and is justified by the Article 175 of the Criminal Code of Japan. Historically, the law has been interpreted in different ways. Recently, it has been interpreted to mean that all pornography must be at least partly censored. However, there have been a few arrests based on this law. What we should be focusing on is the last sentence. Historically, the law has been interpreted in different ways. Recently, it has been interpreted to mean that all pornography must be at least partly censored. How I interpret this is that the law regarding censorship has been constantly changing. And the current iteration of it is that there should be some sort of censoring to it. This can possibly explain the lack of nipples on the male characters. Since men tend to have shorter hair, they can't use that as a way to cover them. Yes, we can use the holy light, but every beach episode would be filled with them. Because men typically don't wear anything to cover their top half. So with that being said, the only way to solve this issue is to completely remove them. If they don't, they might have to change their age rating or get into some trouble. Here's what I think. We see female nipples as something sexual, but with male nipples we don't. And because of that, animators don't feel the need to add them in the first place. Why bother adding a few circles when people aren't gonna bust a nut to it? While I could have looked at all the hentai I wanted for research purposes, I didn't. My PP can only be so hard for so long. I also live with my family. I don't want to be fully focused on some hentai and have my mom walk in. Anything and everything I have said could be valid. I couldn't find much of a serious discussion around this topic, which I understand why. It's like trying to explain the weird weird world of comics to a non-comic reader. And it's not something we first think of when we think of anime. So what do you think? Could this be censorship? Could it be laziness? Both? Let me know.